don't buy the pack pisses me off, because it is one of the most silencing things that people can say when there are really, really deep issues with the game that aren't just about the game, but it's about inclusivity and being able to play yourself as a simulation game. I wasn't going to make this video about the new game pack. I was not feeling well yesterday, as per usual, so I have been dragged out of my cave of sickness because there's some shit we have to talk about, guys. One, about the game, and two, about the community that responded to the game. So we are going to talk about that. You're going to hear my thoughts, opinions on what has happened since the new game pack dropped. If you are not sure what the game pack is, I will link the trailer below. I'll also have it playing in the background. And I will link the description of the game pack below as well, because it's been out for almost a day now. Most people have seen it. If you haven't, go check it out. I'll have it playing, like I said, in the background. But this is not a review of the trailer itself, but the community thoughts and feelings after it came out, as well as my thoughts and opinions on what the game pack is lacking and what it can bring. So if that's something you want to watch, definitely stay tuned, because we're going to dive into it, and I'm going to try and be as partial as possible, but also I'm not going to hold anything back. So some tea might be spilled, and I am definitely drinking tea, and it's almost 100 degrees outside, but I'm so pressed because of all this fuck shit that has happened recently. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I have written down a shitload of notes because my brain fog is set to like 1,000 right now, and I was certain that I was gonna forget something if I didn't write it down. I'll probably forget something. If I forget something, definitely comment below, because there's been so much that's happened in this past 24 hours that is actually astounding. So I'm gonna go through what my thoughts and opinions are about the game right now, and put the pros and the cons, because I'm trying to remain as impartial as possible, because the last two trailers that we had, so Eco Living and Nifty Knitting, Eco Lifestyle, I keep doing it, and Nifty Knitting, I didn't like the trailers. I thought they were going to be trash. I was so unhappy with them, and I actually found some pretty good playability in them. Eco Lifestyle more so than Nifty Knitting. The first thing I want to talk about is the Sim Gurus. We're talking about that this is something that we haven't ever seen before, and they were right. We have only had like costumes and the little tiny baby Yoda statue. We have never seen a Sims pack that is Star Wars themed, and it's very rare when we get like collaborations. Like we do have Moschino in this one. We had like Katy Perry's Sweet Treats in some of the past ones. So it's not unheard of that we do a collab. It is unheard of that we have one so big. And a lot of people are like, well, why Star Wars? Why are we having it with Star Wars? And the current speculation is that they had a contract with Star Wars and Disney and all this other stuff, and that it may have been running out. Some copyright may have been running out. Something has happened that has pushed them to put this pack out. This does become important later when we talk about, well, why did they put this out versus other stuff? So I think that's important to keep in your head, is EA would not be able to compete with the mouse. The only company that I can even think of that would be able to compete with Disney is maybe Amazon, and even then, like you have to do what Disney says. EA does do a lot of Star Wars games, and really, really good Star Wars games as well. So it kind of made sense that in order to use whatever contract they had up, that they should come out with a game. And also, I've been seeing people that are saying, well, this is just a money grab. This is just a money grab. Yes, it is a money grab. That is what a company does. That is exactly the whole reason why a company runs, is to make money. And that's capitalism for you. The con to this, the con to doing something that we've never seen before, is that we already had so many holes in gameplay from previous packs. The personality system is very lacking. Like, each sim is pretty much the same. We do not have inclusive skin tones yet. They say that they should be out by the end of the year. I think that they need to be out before this pack comes out, especially since, you know, we have about 7 shades of green for all the aliens. I think it needs to be out in the pre-release patch for this game. Otherwise, it's not going to go good for them. It's not going to look good on them to have Star Wars aliens, even if they're masks. Like, even if a lot of those faces are masks, it's not going to look good on them to have a whole alien world come out before people can actually play themselves and their families. And while I am discussing all of these, keep in mind that a lot of the people who were disappointed with this aren't just disappointed because they don't like Star Wars. A lot of them do like Star Wars. A lot of them are disappointed for multifaceted reasons, and some of them are the cons that I have in here, including we have so many holes in gameplay that could have been put to better use in one of those packs instead of a Star Wars pack. So just keep in mind that there are like multiple different reasons why people do not like this pack, and saying, well, just don't buy it, minimizes why those reasons exist. It's not just the Star Wars pack. It goes deeper than that. One of the pros is that part of the market that is already in The Sims really, really loves Star Wars. The other side of that is that it's a very niche market. It's a very small percentage of people that are ecstatic that Star Wars is in here. And my thought is that they are trying to draw Star Wars fans over to The Sims. And this is problematic for a few reasons. But the main one being that in order for someone who has never played The Sims before, but really likes Star Wars, to join The Sims franchise, is first they'd have to buy the base game. And then second, they would have to buy this game pack. And if The Sims 4 had a base game like The Sims 3, that would not be an issue because The Sims 3 base game had so much playability. Like, you could play it for years and never buy any of the packs and still have so much fun with it. But The Sims 4 base game lacks so much content. If someone were to just buy the base game and then buy Star Wars, which is going to have its own world, I would be very disappointed if I were to come over from the Star Wars franchise to the Sims franchise and have that little amount of content, especially since the Star Wars games are so packed full of content as it is. But I think that this could really, really alienate, see what I did there? But I think it could really, really alienate the Star Wars fans that are coming over. So it could have worked really, really well in theory, and it could still work. We'll have to see. Like, we'll really have to see. I think it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move as like where the game is right now. I think it would have been better for them to fill the holes in gameplay and then come out with this later. But like I said previously, they may not have had that chance or the time to do it. And another thing is, I have been seeing a lot of criticism for the Sims gurus. And please, please, please remember, they are employees. They are employees of EA. They do come across as like the brain of EA and the ones who push ideas forward and the ones who get stuff done. But at the end of the day, they are an employee of a company, and what EA says they have to do. They are developers, they are producers of a game, but they put their creative flair on what EA says that they should do. Another con to bringing Star Wars fans over is mixing fandoms very rarely goes well. If you know of a game where it mixed fandoms and it has blown up, let me know down below, because I can't think of any right now. You know, Fortnite did not do well when it had Star Wars crossover with it. There are many others that it pisses off customers of both fan bases. Another pro that we have with this is we do have a new world. We have new interactions. We have new things that we can do. But because it's a game pack, historically, what they have given us are very, very small worlds. Very limited playability, like you can play through it once, maybe twice, and that's it. You know, I when I was watching the trailer, there were so many animations that looked very, very similar to animations we already had. And yes, it is much easier to recycle animations. It's much quicker, it saves time, it saves money. But at this point, we need something super, super innovative in order to keep our attention, because we've had 6 years of the same recycled stuff, like the lightsaber duels. I think that those are going to be very similar to the sword fighting for Get Famous, when like you're acting and stuff. Looks very similar. The doorway that they showed in the Build and Buy looks like one from Jungle Adventure, and I worry that we are just going to keep getting recycled content. And listen, like, we're in the middle of a pandemic here. So many people are working from home, even game developers, and I understand that it can be hard to have the resources to do what you have to do in the middle of a pandemic. But this isn't just from this year. This has been a chronic, continued cycle that we have seen from them, and I think a lot of people are getting tired of that. One of the big reasons why I buy my packs is for the Build and Buy mode. And I know a lot of people, a lot of builders are excited for Build and Buy mode. From what I saw in the trailer, it doesn't look like it's going to have a lot of playability outside of the world that we're getting. Like with vampires, the cracks and crevices and some of the stuff you could put into like a foreclosure home in Willow Creek. With Realm of Magic, you could have a witchy cottage out in Brindleton Bay. But a lot of the Build and Buy looks so niche and so marketed to Star Wars and to an alien world that I do really, really worry about how you can use that outside of Batuu. So yeah, one of the cons that I was seeing, and I think I touched on this earlier, I don't remember, brain fog, was that this is a cash grab, and it is absolutely a cash grab. This is what companies do. This is capitalism. Whether you like it or not, this is what they do. They try and get as much money as quickly as possible. And a pro that I can see to this is hopefully, fingers crossed, they will put any money into developing The Sims 5. And it kind of sucks, because I've been saying this for a while now, is that EA has us by the balls. Like 100% by the balls. They know they have us by the balls, because if we don't buy the packs, it's less money for The Sims 5, which people are really looking forward to, because The Sims 4 was such a disappointment. So my last con for the game, and this is in no particular order because I can't really put thoughts into place right now, is that they're not listening to their players. That's a big thing that people have been saying, is that they're not listening to their customer base. Like skin tones, babies, cars, farming, any hole that we have in gameplay, because each sim is pretty much the same. It's like the same potato walking around, because they're all pretty much lifeless. Different potatoes walking around with different skins on. And some of those skins are ashy. So going into the community aspect of this, I have seen Twitter blow up. Like very, very polarizing thoughts on either end of it. Very polarizing thoughts on either end of it. And if you hear my cat, she's singing the song of her people outside my door because she wants to come in, because anytime she hears me talking to myself in here, she thinks that I'm streaming and wants to then be famous. So yeah, I've been seeing lots and lots of polarizing opinions on Twitter. A majority of people say they did not want the pack. They are unsure as if they're going to buy the pack. They're probably going to watch reviews of it once it comes out. Some people are saying they didn't want the pack. They're pissed off with them because of some of the things that I said earlier, and they will never buy the pack. There are some people who are like, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I didn't ask for the pack, and I'm unsure as if I'm going to get it. And then there are some, like a very, very, very small minority of people who are ecstatic that the pack is coming out. They're big Star Wars fans, they're big Sims fans, and I do worry that they're going to be disappointed. This game would have much been better served as a spin-off, like The Sims Medieval, The Sims Castaway, things like that. It would have been deeper gameplay for both fandoms, and it would have just been better. A game pack is not big enough to fully delve into like how intricate the Star Wars fandom is. Yeah, I do think it should have been a spin-off. There are just so many people who do not think that this is going to be a good game, and then a small minority of people who are really excited for it, and I'm really, really happy for them. Like I said yesterday, don't shit on people who are happy about it. Like if you don't like it, don't say it to that person unless they're asking for opinions. Like, don't go in and see someone who's happy for it and then be like, I think this is going to be the worst pack ever. It's going to be bad. That's toxic. Say it on your own page. Say it on someone who's actually asking for opinions. But, try and be constructive with it. Like, just saying, I hate this isn't helpful. Like, why don't you like it? What could they have done better? So some of the pros that I've seen from the community recently is I've seen a lot more people protecting the gurus, and not that they need protecting, but like a lot of people are actually starting to say, they may not have had any choice in this matter. They may have been told you have to make this by this date, and then they had to work with that. So there are more people that are like, hey, please don't spew hate to the gurus. I even put a Twitter post up about it because some people don't know how to feel uncomfortable and how to not like something without spewing hate. I have also seen more people with an open mind, and I think that's because they're trying to keep the peace, so to speak. So some of the cons that I've seen is there's a huge divide in this community right now. It almost reminds me of American politics right now. It's almost like you can't have a different opinion for someone else without you automatically being the enemy. And, we are in the middle of this pandemic. Stresses are high. People are stressed out. They're depressed. They're worried about life. They're worried about getting sick. I understand that, but also understand that if you are really struggling with that stuff and being on social media stresses you out even more, maybe you should step back from that. I haven't been in the Sims Twitter community for very long. It's only been since May, the end of May. So this is the first time I've ever seen it blow up to this extent, a lot. I'm not sure what happened when my first pet stuff came out, but I was actually kind of shocked. I wasn't super surprised. People saying that they were unfollowing people and muting people and stuff like that. Why aren't we able to see differences in opinions anymore? What has made it so that we cannot see people who put legitimate criticism out there, not hate? We need to get away from criticism is the same thing as hate. It is not. And saying so silences people with difference in opinions. We cannot, as a community, see difference in opinions anymore and realize that they are not talking about us. And that has been something that I've really, really seen in the past 24 hours. And it's been really sad to see. Very, 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 very sad to see. Another thing is, that small minority of people who are super, super happy about it have almost been just as toxic as the people who are pissed. And what I say by that is they're saying really underhanded comments, usually with a Star Wars meme, haters gonna hate. And, I understand where they're coming from because they're probably trying to be super defensive in a community that is saying stuff against them. But it's coming from both sides, You also hear people saying, well, if you don't like the pack, then don't buy it. Yes, 100%. If you don't like this pack, do not buy it. But saying that, especially, how can I put this delicately? Saying that particularly as a game changer, like one of them did last night and then experienced extreme backlash over. I'm not going to say names. But saying that diminishes why people are angry about the game. It overlooks why people could not like this game. It doesn't look at the deeper issues, like the people of color who are pissed off because they cannot play themselves still, but now we can go to Batuu and play with stormtroopers and all these different varieties of alien life. Yes, I can understand their outrage 100%. And to say just don't buy it isn't it. It's not tactful. It sounds tone deaf, especially from people like that Game Changer who do get the packs for free. Game Changers had to start from somewhere. Let's talk about Game Changers for a second. They had to start from somewhere. They started a small YouTube channel like I am, like many of you are. 100%. They've had to claw their way to the top. Some of them had some good luck, got promoted, blew up overnight, but that's very, 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 very rare. But they still get packs for free. It's like sweeping the issue under the rug, you know, like saying don't buy a pack is just kind of like that. They think that should be the end of the story, and it's not. Like, why are these people pissed off? Like, look at that. Like, if people are saying, I don't like this pack, think about what people have been saying for the past months and years about what they would like to see in the pack. And then look at what we got. You know, like, we could have had so much deeper gameplay with a game pack, and instead we got a super, super, super niche pack. And I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy for the people that are super excited for this. I am so happy for the people that are excited about this. I don't want to take away their happiness. And I'm not trying to with this video. I'm just trying to give both sides of the story and then talk about my feelings a little bit about this. And don't buy the pack pisses me off, because it is one of the most silencing things that people can say when there are really, really deep issues with the game that aren't just about the game, but it's about inclusivity and being able to play yourself as a simulation game. I think that anyone who says just don't buy the game is so disconnected from the community. Another thing I want to talk about is toxic positivity. Some people know about this, some people don't, but I've been seeing it a lot in the Twitter community within the past day, mostly. Like, I've seen it before, but mostly in the past day. And what that basically is like, everything has to be happy. You can't have feelings that are negative. And that's just gaslighting. 100%. Like, people are allowed to be disappointed. People are allowed to be pissed off. But what people aren't allowed to do is be toxic, because they're feeling those emotions. If they need to go and they need to step away from social media, they should do that. And they should process their feelings so then they can come back and have healthy conversations. But to say that people cannot be disappointed, that they should be happy, that they, you know, should just give this a chance. Yes, 100%. They should give this game pack a chance. But to have a reaction to a trailer, don't tell people how they should feel. Just don't. People have feelings. Oftentimes people have feelings that they don't even know why they're having feelings. Have you ever woken up one day and you're like, why am I sad? Nothing bad has happened yet. So let people have their feelings as long as they're not hurting anyone. Communities get toxic. I've seen a lot of people saying the Sims community is so toxic. It's so toxic. It's so toxic. But, you know, with that person who disabled their Twitter, people were so toxic to her and stuff like that. And I was kind of following that thread as it was happening, because I was like laying in bed with nothing better to do. And, you know, I saw criticism. I saw a lot of people going like, yo, you can't really tell people to not be disappointed about a game when you get packs for free. That's legitimate. I mean, that's a legitimate thing to say. I saw a couple of people being pretty problematic, but for a majority of people were like, listen, this is why we are upset about it. For the people who did not follow that thread, they just saw that she left when they woke up the next morning, and they're like, this community is so toxic that we caused someone to leave. And the thing to remember is, anything that we put out on social media has the potential for repercussions. This video has the potential for repercussions from people that don't like what I say. And if I put a tweet out that I say with my whole chest stuck out, which this person did a long thread, which she is entitled to do, but anything you say, you're entitled to say, but you're not entitled from the repercussions from it. Yes, this community can be pretty toxic. It can be pretty hateful. But for the most part, I see people giving criticism, and criticism does not equal hate just because we don't like what they say. I'm going to give this game a chance. I'm going to buy it probably the day it comes out, because like I said before, I'm a Pokemon catcher. I gotta catch them all. Plus, I want to review it for you all. I want to make sure that you guys get the ins and outs of the game and know if you want to buy it. That's all that I have to say about this. I'm sure there are other things I'm going to think about once I'm done recording that I forgot about, but I've been sick. But I did want to hop on here because shit got real. But yeah, if you have any thoughts and opinions about the pack, leave them down below. If you have seen some stuff, let me know. I want to chat about it. I love chatting with you guys. But on that note, I'm going to end the video here. I'm starting to get out of breath as per usual, so I'm going to make another cup of tea. And I'm going to see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.